All right, hey, how's it, everybody? It is about 5 or 6 minutes after 5 p.m. West Coast time. We're talking 8 p.m. on the East Coast. We're talking 2 p.m. in the Hawaii Nei. We are talking, let's see here, I'm going to say it's about 7 for our Central Time, folk. I am Mad Statter, this is Chatter with Statter, and we have got people coming in the house because I was still putting on the final touches. Oh, and making my microphone fall down. Yes, putting on the final touches. I had one last thing. I had about 8 one last things that I wanted to do. And so I think I got them all. And who knows if we'll be able to cover all the one last things, but at least they're lined up and ready in case we scatter that direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the party started, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to say hi to everybody that I see hanging out in the chat. But right now, it's time for the Black Kitty Cat. Right, it looks like we have an explosion of emotes, which means I believe Andre just gifted a sub to Hi, I Am Normal. Hi, I Am Normal, I see, is also in the house, and I see that Andre is in the house, Darlene in the house, Elaine, good to see you both here. And let's see here, we've got Gina, of course, and Hi, I'm Normal talking about mayonnaise for some reason, didn't quite catch that. So let's see here. Darlene, Andre, Rick, of course Rick telling everybody it is chatter time. And let's see here. Hi, I'm Normal, Darlene, Elaine, and Rick, and Andre, and Gina, and Elaine again, and Puzzy Cat coming in for the win. Good to see you, Mr. Man. I've got a little update for you on our Leo kitty, by the way. And let's see here. Shock, your sensei pulls that kind of stuff on us. Sometimes you just want to puke when he says last time for the 15th or 20th time. Yeah, and that was exactly what was happening with me. It was like, oh, one last thing. Okay, now that that's no longer, now one more last thing. And yes, indeedy. So let's see here. Looks like it's been a rough weekend for Gina, and it looks like I'm thinking Hi, I'm Normal might have had a rough weekend as well. Their brain is not computing, but that's okay because we are not here to do any kind of rocket surgery or brain science, so it is all good. And oh no, Hi Normal got the mayo, got the mind on the money and the mayo on the mind. I don't know why I just said that, but anyway, all right. So, okay. Today we are once again featuring Lono's latest release, When Ancestors Speak. We're featuring it one more time because when we featured it last time, Rick and Darlene were not in the Chatterbox crew, and so we might as well make sure that our hardcore members get exposed to all the same hardcore things. That's right. So I'm going to say hello to Felicia. Hey, Felicia, good to see you here. And then we are going to get into the situation. Okay, so boom, boop, here we go. Lono has created a brand new album, and it's going to be actually a series, I believe, of 4 albums, perhaps 5. Don't quote me on that, but I do know that right now they're working on project number 3. Project number 2 is getting the details wrapped up, but project number 1 was released last week, and here is what it's all about. It is When Ancestors Speak, and the graphic design for the images on this particular album cover were created by Keone Nunez and are reflective of the Heva Heva clan that Lono belongs to. Now, this album does have quite a few songs that we have heard from Lono before, but they are very different animals of the songs that we might be familiar with. This is a close-up on the track. So, longest time, Kuva is a newer song. I don't believe, to my recollection, excuse me, let me rephrase that. It is not a new song. Lono's been working on this song for quite some time, but I don't believe it's on any previous albums. So this song, the first opening track, is going to be a new song to your ear. Now, Hihimanu is already on one of Lono's albums. I'm going to say it's on Old Style 6, E Holoha E, but do not quote me on that. What I can tell you, though, is this version of Hihimanu is, well, okay, it's obviously different, but as a general rule, actually, all of the songs that you may have heard before from Lono, previously recorded, these songs are a fuller representation. Like, these songs are like the grown-up version, maybe. More layering, more depth. There's more instrumentation. There's just more to the music. And so, Poa Nua Nue, that is the Night Rainbow song. That is on Old Style 4 and Old Style 5, I believe. So that song has definitely gone through a lot of changes. And then we've got Makane o Makanalua, which we will be listening to for our Lono listening break today. And then we've got Makua Kamiano. That is the song that I'm going to say it's on Old Style 5, maybe 6, but it is also on this album. And this is the song about Father Damien of Molokai, the one who took care of all of the folks suffering from Hansen's disease, aka the leper colony on Molokai back in the day. And then we've got Evie Kahola, Poi Poi. This is the song, I can't remember what Old Style it's off of, but it is a song about ancestral responsibilities. And then we've got Ia Oike Eke La, which is just a fun song, also on a previous album. Don't ask me which one. And then Cacao Machiavelli Valley, another famous song of Lono's that basically traces back lineage to the first landing of Native Hawaiians on Molokai. So that is the track listing we've got for When Ancestors Speak. That is what we are currently listening to right now. And you can purchase this particular album at lonomusic.com. If you go there and scroll down just a tiny little bit, boom, you'll be able to see, you'll be able to click on it, and it will, it'll take you to the album. Now, if you already have the album, but you wanted to maybe share the album with someone else, well, we have the technology for that. The website just a few days ago added a gift card option, so you can purchase a gift card for a friend to be delivered at the date you choose, which means, oh, that's right, next week is my auntie's birthday, and I'm gonna forget to do that by now. I should probably get her something while I'm thinking of it. lonomusic.com, gift card delivered on the birthday. Here's the special message. Boom, you just bought your auntie a Lono CD. What Lono CD? She gets to pick which one she wants. And so that is a brand new feature on the website. So feel free to download and purchase all the Lono albums that you want, but also feel free to buy Lono albums for your friends. Get the word out. This is how we sell music these days. Because where are you gonna go? A record store? Where are you gonna go? A record store. Can you tell me where your closest record store is? Can you? Now, I can tell me where my closest record store is, but only because I'm one of those weirdo freaks that care about that kind of thing. Do you guys? Are you one of those weirdo freaks that care about that kind of thing? Or is it just easier to go boop-a-doop-a-doop, click? Indeed. Boop-a-doop-a-doo, click is generally a little bit easier. All right, so that is Andre. Target has vinyl these days. Wow, I'm not surprised because I've seen evidence that vinyl is making a strong comeback, a comeback of sorts. But I had no idea that Target was selling vinyl. That being said, I haven't been in a Target. I don't even know the last time I was in Target. Actually, you know what? I do think I know the last time I was in Target, and it was to buy a movie for Statterbox at the cinema. I believe it was to buy Coco. So I played that movie 2 Halloweens ago. So it would have been like October of 2021, I guess, is probably the last time I've been in a Target. Didn't notice any vinyl, then again, didn't go looking for it either. So yeah, let's see here. All right, cool. I'm happy to see that people here are on the YouTube side, because I almost forgot to turn the YouTube side on, and it's good to know that I did turn it on at the very last second and it showed up. Poppy Shaney, thank you so much for subscribing for 22 months in a row. 22 months in a row, 21 month streak. Good to see you, Poppy, and I will be seeing you, I think, in about a month when he heads on up to Renton, Washington to check out a show that I will be the MC of. Hey, PPP Bang, good to see you. You are alive. Good to know. Awesome. All right, you guys. So, what was I just talking about? I was talking about a Renton show. A Renton show, Daily Pigeon live road show featuring Augie T and headlining with Andy Bumatai and James Monet. Wow, I wish I could talk today. And apparently, they're putting this chick named Mad Statter in charge of the MC, even though she has no idea how to even pronounce their flippin' names, apparently, if now was any example. So yeah, if though you guys are in the Renton, Washington area, the Seattle, Washington area, and you want to check out an amazingly funny night, we've got 2 shows back to back. Augie T for, 10, 20 minutes or something like that. Then we've got James Monet, maybe a 40-minute set. We've got Andy Bumatai, maybe a 40-minute set. I'm not quite sure, but I do know 2 headliners plus an opener that actually could be a headliner means you want to be there to see that show on August 19th at the Carco Theater. Plus, they've got this MC that nobody but, well, us knows about. MC, that'd be me. That's right. And then next weekend, we will be taking that show down to Sacramento, California, that is. And we will be playing at the Embassy Suites at the ballroom there. And when I say we will be playing, I actually just mean Andy and James. I once again will be doing the intros. Augie T won't be there, unfortunately, so it'll be a little bit different show, but 2 headliners, quite possibly a longer show there, because we won't be having 2 shows in one night. It'll just be one long relax show. Hang out, it'll all be good. So, Renton, 2 shows one night. Sacramento, 1 show, 1 night, 2 comedians. Basically, it's going to be a lot of bang for your buck no matter where you end up going. I'm going to be both places. You should be both places too. And one last thing about the Renton show. Because if you've ever hung around here enough to... If you've hung around here, you know. You know. Can you guess? Because I know you know. That's right, I've got a map. I've got a map, y'all. That's right, I've got a map. And so, this little squiggly map is basically that left-hand orange circle, red circle. That's the airport that you'd be flying into, the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. If you're going to fly in for that show like a rock star, you're going to fly into that airport. Now, all these little green X's and O's and things, those are potential hotels that you can stay at. And then, up there in the upper right-hand corner is another little red circle, orange circle, whatever color you want to call that color. That is where the venue, the performance venue will be. So less than 10 miles from the airport. Very, very, very good location for you to get a hotel at the airport quick like a bunny go to the show and then fly out the next day because you're a rock star, baby. Because you're a rock star. That's what you're gonna do. And that's what I'm telling you you're gonna do. All right, so let's see here. It looks like we've got people talking in the sidelines, except for Cindy Krause. Cindy Krause forgot to say hi. Cindy Krause came in and said hi, and now I'm saying hi, Cindy. And let's see here. It looks like PPP Bang and Gina are bonding over awfulness. I don't know what the awfulness is, but both of them are not having a good weekend, which is really too bad. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, maybe we should take bets too. Poppy Shaney, Tracy, that's Poppy Shaney's lovely wife. Tracy and I are taking bets with each other how long it takes for Cooper to ditch you guys for Andy and James. That's right, because Andy and James are going to be staying with Poppy Shaney for a few days, or maybe a week, or maybe forever, when they're in Sacramento. And Poppy Shaney's got a cute little dog, and James Monet has been known to win over all the cute little doggies in the house. So, let's see here. Gina, did Augie T back out because of the city council pay raise thing? No. The Augie T, I don't even know if Augie was A, invited, or B, backed out, or C, was even able to. The Sacramento date was added on much later and is being sort of treated as a very separate show than the Renton show. And so the Renton show was one big thing, and Augie was included in that. And then at the last minute, or not last minute, but then plans evolved, and Andy and James are going to stay on the continental United States for that week and travel down to California somehow, whereas Augie most likely can't hang out for a week, and you know, because he's got stuff to do. He's a city councilman, right? And so I don't think he wanted to fly back to the mainland twice. So it's the city council pay raise thing. For those of you who are like, what the heck are you guys talking about? Augie T is a famous comedian, but he also sits on Honolulu City Council. Odd, I know, but, you know, people do their things. Well, anyway, Honolulu City Council right now is going through a kerfuffle, and they're trying to make it so the council people aren't allowed to have other income sources, and treat the council position as a full-time job. When and if that resolution passes, that's going to mean that Augie T will not be able to do any comedy shows while he's on the council. However, I don't think that has passed yet, and if it has passed, I don't think the effective date affects the show in Sacramento. I truly do think that it's just a case of timing, and he's got other stuff to do besides hang out on the mainland for all week. So I'm guessing that in the week that we will be that Andy and James will be on the mainland, they will be doing some Daily Pigeon from Poppy Shaney's house. That being said, do not quote me. I am making this up. No one has told me this is the case. I could be a big lying liar pants right now. I don't think I'm a lying liar pants, but I don't know what I'm talking about. I do know what I hope, though, and I do hope that we do get the show. Because I'll tell you what, you guys, this last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with no Andy, no Daily Pigeon Live, no you guys, I really, really, really missed y'all. PPP Bang, good to know. Sometimes this album's mix is less than... Some of the songs seem to be louder than others, so I'm not surprised that, but there we go. Hold on. PPP Bang. All right, here we go. We will not say your name. No worried, okay? However, you told us your name a couple weeks ago. So, so we are not psychic here, but you actually did mention your easily pronounceable name, your name that that is, well, very easy to pronounce. So so let's see here. So also, as a general rule, I try and keep my language very clean on this stream, whatever. I fail miserably at times, not gonna lie. I did allow the term to come through right now, but in the future, let's try to do things like, frick, flying fork, etc. Because it is, in theory, a family-friendly place, but PBB Bang, Finnish culture and Northern Norwegian culture, from what I understand, I feel like I could be part of this culture because the F word comes out of the mouth without even thinking about it. It is part of the ease of the language, that F word. Northern Norwegians, from what I understand, and I'm guessing your little, your little Finnish culture comeback explains that. So now you know. No worries, no huge worries. Yeah, exactly. We cuss all the time. So it's hard to watch. Much easier on text chat, so no worries. Oh, honey bunches, you don't even know. There's a reason why we have an emote here that is a flying fork. Because what in the flying fork do you think it is for me to try and not say the F word? Yeah, it's very difficult. I understand. If it was voice chat, it'd be much more difficult to avoid. Yeah, it takes an effort. I get it. But thank you for trying to make an effort. And so, let's see here. And hi, I'm normal. You're so confused. You zoned out, staring at your ceiling. Hey, man, that sounds like a cheap and easy trip. Let's do it. And, all right, you guys. So, what do I have here? I have a whole lot of things that I have here, but I think what I'm gonna do first... Actually, no. First, what I'm gonna do is this. Puzzy Cat, are you here? This story is for you, Puzzy Cat. I didn't think to bring up a picture of him, but for those of you who don't know, I have a stray cat that Puzzy Cat named Leo. That's not really true. I tried to name the cat various things. The cat was unimpressed with all the names that I gave him, so I put it to the Statterbox crew, and Puzzy Cat came up with Leo. So I asked the kitty cat in question if Leo was an acceptable name, and he meowed in agreement. Leo is good. I can call him Leo. So, his name is Leo. Now, Leo does not belong to me. In fact, Leo has sent me to the hospital with a bad kitty bite, but we won't talk about that. Leo does not belong to me, but he acts like I belong to him when he wants. But I noticed there's this weird hierarchy that he seems to recognize. I have twice now come into my house. I have a cat door, by the way. So twice now I have come into my house and found Leo sitting very prim and properly right in front of the cat dishes, not eating anything. Because he knows it's when I come home, and when I come home time is when I give my cats the wet food. So he's been there a couple times. It's like, well, there's enough wet food to go around. So I make him a plate of wet food. Leo will not touch the wet food until my cats have finished with their portion. It's like he knows that he is second tier, and so my cats get first choice, and then once my cats are done, he will then eat off of his plate. But it is the strangest thing. He has like manners, or there's some cat hierarchy going on here where he knows his place. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he could eat with my cats, but apparently my cats are like, listen here, we first, you second. Don't worry, we'll leave something for you, but we first, you second. And he's down with that. So, you know. Anyway, I wanted to let you know, Pussycat, just how well mannered Mr. Leo has been recently. And so, let's see here. What are we talking about with Rick? Andre making reference to the What About Bob movie we watched, Statterbox in the cinema. Rick and Darlene would make a good pair of angry locals, like on all What About Bob. That would be hysterical. And so, let's see here. And Darlene agreeing probably could handle the role, but Rick says Darlene's a little too nice, so she might have to stretch her acting ability. Yes, indeedy. And Pussycat, Leo is happy to have a place to stay. Oh, he really is. Like, his tail is all happy and up when he's just, because it's so cute. He's sitting in the kitchen like a sphinx, like in the sphinx pose, but his tail is just like up, and he's just sitting there patiently and happy in front of the little cat bowls. And then, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, Darlene, exactly. That's strange, but cats have a different kind of logic, and clearly he understands his wherewithal and where he lies in it. Hey there, Picola T. Good to see you. Lure Queen in the car. Awesome. 21 months subbed. Super stoked for that. And, oh, and Pussycat, another thing I'm going to tell you about my cats. Okay, you guys, am I a crazy cat lady? Yes. In case you didn't know. And pretty soon we're not going to talk about cats. We're going to talk about Rick and Darlene. But before that, I got one last thing. So, Pussycat, there's this other cat that comes to my yard and has been coming to my yard for like a decade now. His name's Jimmy, and he's really a jerk. And I know his name is Jimmy because he has a tag, and it says Jimmy, and it's got the phone number, and I've talked to his owners, so I know who he is. And Pussycat, yes, Ashes is a female, Dusty is male, Leo is male. And so, anyway, Jimmy, the jerk, he's always been a jerk. But he's also like kind of a wuss. A couple years ago, he was at my house. It was snowy out. It was over Christmas, and he was at my house like for days. And so finally I called up his owners and I was like, hey, you know, are you still Jimmy's people? And they're like, yeah, you know. And I was like, just so you know, he's been at my house for days, and, you know, I have been feeding him. He is okay. And they were like, yeah, because it was Christmas time and it happened to be snowing. And they were like, yeah, he's afraid of the snow, so he'll probably be at your house until the snow melts. So even though Jimmy's a huge jerk, he's afraid of the snow, which makes me laugh. But Jimmy was out there being a jerk one night, a couple nights ago, and so Leo and Dusty were having fisticuffs with Jimmy the cat, and so finally I had to go out and like see what was going on, because it was a kerfuffle. And so I saw the fisticuffs, etc. Turned on the back porch light. Everybody freezes. Back porch light goes on. Ashes comes in the house, looking over his shoulder at Jimmy. You're not welcome here. Dusty comes in the house, looking over his shoulder at Jimmy. You're not welcome here. Leo comes in the house, looking over his shoulder. I'm welcome here, but you're not. So all of them got to show off and just be like, Jimmy, you ain't welcome here. We are, but you aren't. You're not part of the club. You're not on the list. Yeah. And so, PPP bang, that sucks that cat was there for 3 days. I hope that she got down, but man, as much as I love cats, I don't want to hear one warbling in the tree for 3 days. Rick, our grand cat Starla, got to go collar free for the last month. Too hot for the inside cat, you guess? Yep, there you go. There you go. All right, so let's see here. Now that I was talking about my kitty for way too long, we're going to switch the gears and we are going to watch a quick little video created, but, and hi, I'm Normal. All I heard was cats. You love cats, although no clue the context besides Leo and Ashes. And wait, hold on, what else? Leo and Ashes and Jimmy. Yep, well, just so you know, hi, I'm Normal. This crazy cat lady right here has 2 cats that are mine, Ashes and Dusty. They're black cats. They're awesome. And then we have Leo. He's sort of mine, but not really. And then we've got Jimmy, and he is not mine. So, let's see here. Oh, good. The PP Bang, she got down. The cat owner's cousin was a professional tree climber or whatever. Right. Awesome. Good, good, good. And let's see here. Cindy Krause. Your cats took off when the neighbor ran their chainsaw. I would too. I hate that noise. They got locked out after 10. Keeps the strays out. Mama Kitty. Wait, hold on. Mama Kitty woke me up at 3 a.m. crying out my bedroom window. There we go. Yep, they broke curfew and they didn't care if they were in trouble. They wanted back in, Mom. Let us in, Mom. Let us in. All right, now we're finally getting to what I said we were going to get to. And that is the Rick and Darlene Lake video. So, this, fresh off the presses from Wisconsin, probably maybe last weekend, I don't know. But this is from Darlene. You might see just a little quick snippet of a Rick foot in there, maybe, if you keep your eyes peeled.
Over at the South Shore Farmers Market with some belly dancers, besides plenty of good food. Delicious fresh veggies. Liqueurs. Pretty flowers. More fresh veggies. Flowers. Plants. And it's all along the beautiful shore of the lake. Our pretty lakefront. One of the many harbors. Again, on that side, right across from the lake, is the farmer's market. Doggies, people, and that whole side of the park you have to get to.
All right, there we go. So, let's see here. Rick saying that the lakefront didn't treat you very well today. Got stuck in an hour-long traffic jam. Oh, coming back from your grandkid's house. That sucks, dude. That sucks. Well, I'm glad that you were able to get some footage, I guess, last weekend. And you know, that's all. I mean, that was 1 minute and 20 seconds worth of little stuffuses and things. So you guys, if you have something local that you want to show off, by all means, send me your things and stuff. You can hit me up at madstatter@gmail.com, and I'm not going to promise that I'm going to make your videos look phenomenal. I'm not going to promise that I'm going to polish it up a whole lot. I definitely am. I'm going to promise that they won't look sharp and stylized like a Hollywood movie, but I'll do what I can with them, and I'll show them off, and then we'll see what it's like to be in your neck of the woods. And so that is what the farmer's market right around Milwaukee, Wisconsin-ish, not exactly, near-ish Milwaukee, Wisconsin, is like. So, like I said, you guys, feel free to send in your things and stuff, because people saying, yes, a good video about your doggy, perfect. Doggy videos, kitty videos, bunnies, squirrels, the whole nine, even fishies if you want. I would be stoked to show them off, even if they're not good videos. Because here's the deal. This particular stream was started on the basis of learning to do things and showing off what you're learning while you're doing it, which means perfection is not expected. When you're learning to do stuff, you're not going to be perfect. But you can't get perfect unless you learn to do stuff. And so if you're waiting until perfection to show off what you're doing, people are going to miss the journey of you doing what you're doing. So, perfection is not a requirement to show it off. I know that that is a barrier that so many people put up in front of their own creative self. You don't want to show it off because, oh, it has a mistake. Oh, it doesn't look good. Oh, it's not as good as. Oh, it could be better. It's not perfect. That's okay. You're not a professional. It's not supposed to be perfect. If you're a professional, it should probably be better than what you do. But you're not. Just like me, I'm not. And so that is why it's okay to show off the stuffuses that might not be the most wonderful stuffuses. And so it's a 25-second video, but apparently the file size is too large for Gmail. Well, PPP Bang, shoot me an email, and maybe I can figure out a way to get that video from you in a different method. So just shoot me either a whisper with your email or shoot me an email, and we'll figure it out, because doggy videos are always worth the extra effort. Doggy videos are always worth it. And let's see here. Puzzycat, if I could just figure out how to send pics or video of your place. Well, so apparently, Google and the Google Drive can only handle so much. But from what I understand and from what I've experienced so far, Instagram, direct messages in Instagram can handle remarkable video size. Instagram seems to be a really good platform for videos. So if you do have an Instagram account, that would be one way that you can send me stuff. That being said, you'd have to send it to me in a direct message, and that means you'd have to know who I am on Instagram, and I don't know if I remember who I am on Instagram. So I'm not gonna tell you right now, because I'm not perfect when it comes to my social medias. Can you tell? And then Rick, oh my God, that's right. If you do YouTube, this is actually the easiest way. If you do YouTube, you can post a video, click on it to be private, and so the only people who can see it are people that you have the link to. And then once I get on YouTube, I can just download it from YouTube. So that's actually the best way. Let's see here. So best way to record things and stuff on PC or mobile device. I don't care what it is, Gina, but what I do prefer is I like it to be horizontal, not vertical. So like if you're gonna, I will absolutely show vertical videos, but they show up better when you do the landscape instead of, they do best if you keep your phone in your hand, because when you drop your phone, you generally don't get the footage you're trying to get, but here I have another phone. So yes, landscape, not that. And then Cola T coming in, if you have a Gmail account, you can create an album of a video and then give permission to me to view it. That is true. I think that's on the photos section. So there's a bunch of different ways. Puzzycat, I don't know. I'm guessing that the flip phones probably don't have the best video. So you'd probably want to videotape it with your iPad. Videotape it with your iPad. That's kind of funny. You'd probably want to capture the video with your iPad. And then, yeah, you can either upload it to a Google account, you can upload it to your own YouTube account and send me the link. There is a bunch of different ways. And so, so yeah, with our mind, with our minds put together, we can probably come up with a bunch of different ways to get it to here, and then I can get it to there, and there being out there for all y'all. And let's see here. And by the way, Andre coming in with a word of truth, which is most professionals aren't really that professional anyway, so don't worry about it. Just do what you do. And okay, Gina, yeah, you have an iPad. iPads, from what I understand, do good video. So just upload it, you know, either to your YouTube account or to your Insta account, or if you have a Gmail account. I'm not sure if you do though, because you're obviously an Apple person. But if you have a Gmail account, create an album in your photos section and then share it with me, and I'll be able to get them. Easy. So let's see here. And so what else? And Andre, you don't have an iPad. It's the only Apple thing you don't have. That's funny. That's funny because I would be just the opposite. If I had one Apple anything, it would be the iPad. But I'm an Android girl when it comes to my phone. Now, I'm not gonna get into the argument of which is better, Android or iPhone. I will tell you this. Android seems to have technology that iPhone gets years later, but iPhone's stupid camera, oh, god dang it, iPhone's camera is always more superior, and it makes me angry, it makes me frustrated, it makes me go, let's see here. And Darlene bragging about her farmer's market that's huge. Organic mushroom lady, a honey vendor, a couple bakery vendors. Yum. Yeah, it sounds like I need to go to the farmer's market. Okay, so let's see here. What have we done today? We have talked about Rick and Darlene. We've talked about Lono. And I think, I know what we're going to do. First off, we're going to say, Puzzycat, yeah, I know your iPad takes excellent photos. It's the one stupid thing that Apple really kicks arse about over the Android. God, the pictures, it's just not even fair, man. And it's not just my imagination. I went to Yellowstone with my Android, and my friend had their iPhone. We literally took identical pictures of the same thing from the same place. Abso-flippin'-lutely, undeniable. That iPhone was so much better. Oh, so much better. And Pacola T, you're on day 52 of a 61-day art challenge. Definitely not an artist, stretching your comfort level and learning so much. Glad you went for it. I've been seeing some of those results on those art challenges. And absolutely, Pacola T, I would, well, actually, no. You're wrong. Just so you know, you're wrong. You are an artist. Like, I looked at all those things that were posted on Facebook, and I was like, every single one, I was like, oh my god, I had no idea that Pacola T was such a good artist. Oh my god, I had no idea. So, just so you know, you don't know what you're talking about, because you totally are, like, you know, an artist and stuff. And let's see here. Darlene, are you asking how to send me videos and pics? You know, the way you send them to me, I think we could find a better way. Because I think the way your videos end up to me, I think they're a little degraded. I think that we might be able to get better quality if we can figure out a better way for you to get those to me. However, Darlene has been sending me videos, the one that we just saw right now, through Facebook Messenger. So quite literally, however you can figure out a way to get them to me, we can try to make it work. Like I said, we're not going for perfection. We're just going for creation. Creation. All right, now, one last thing, and then we're going to have a Lono listening break, and then we're going to go on the water. But before we go on the water, we're going to be on the ground. And y'all remember I was talking about in Seattle how we have these weird purple pieces of glass in the sidewalk? And those weird purple pieces of glass in the sidewalk are skylights to the Seattle Underground. And some of all y'all were like, oh, that idea freaks me out. I don't want to walk on those. And I can see why you would think that. This is what I'm talking about, okay? So if you ever go to Seattle, and specifically the Pioneer Square type area, and you notice this type of sidewalk under your feet, those are the skylights that I am referring to. And these skylights go to light up the Seattle Underground. And that is what the skylights look like from underground. And so you don't have to worry about falling through because I guess you can worry all you want, I suppose. I have never heard of anyone falling through them. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. By all means, if you feel like worrying about it, I'm not going to tell you what to worry about or what not to worry about, but I don't think you need to worry about this. So that's what those look like above. That's what those look like below. And here is what the Seattle Underground looks like from the side, I guess. So the current city of Seattle is built atop the old city of Seattle for the most part. They did a lot of regrading, regrading of hills, and they made sure the city was well above the high tide line. Seattle City used to be built on basically a big mud flat. They have since altered the terrain, so that is not what it is. But yeah, this is sort of this is literally a cross section of Seattle before they built other stuff to cover that ugliness up. But when they tore down part of Seattle, you got to see the old city underneath and then the new city on top. And so as you can see, the Seattle Underground is it's underground. And so you've got the lights into the sidewalks, and then boop, that's what they look like when you're above. And so indeed, Darlene, all the different varied cities are so interesting. They have got their own character. Now, I'm not from here. I don't have pictures of Old Town, and I don't have pictures of New Town. But here is a quirky factor. Back in the day, Portland, Oregon used to be considered the Shanghai capital of the world. And when I say Shanghai capital of the world, I mean people were kidnapped and shanghaied, i.e. stolen and to a boat onto China, Shanghai, and basically enslaved to be a merchant mariner until you could get off the boat. So that is the term. You might have heard the term shanghaied. It means kidnapped, right? Well, that term originated out of Portland, Oregon. When they rebuilt the old city, they made sure to eliminate any and all alleyways. So modern Portland literally has no alleyways in it. And the reason why Portland has no alleyways in it is because it was in the alleyways that secret doors and passages were used to kidnap all these people to China. And so they actually redesigned the city to help alleviate the problem of all the nooks and crannies that the people were getting kidnapped to. So, fun little Portland fact. And yes, we have a ton of alleys in Pioneer Square. We did not have the same problem that Portland did in Seattle. We did not have the same problem. Puzzycat, am I going to play any new Lono music tonight for Rick and Darlene? Puzzycat, we are listening to nothing but Lono's new music. So some of the songs that you're hearing you might have already heard before, but these are the new versions. So this whole album is When Ancestors Speak. It's on loop. We're hearing it over and over and over again. That's okay. And in fact, your question was timed quite perfectly, because what we're going to do now is we're going to listen to one song off of Lono's new album. We're going to just listen to it, and we are going to watch the most beautiful swaying palm tree that ever did sway. And the video that we're watching is by Rick. But the music we're listening to is by Lono's Molokai Evie Band. So, it's time for our Lono listening break. This song you can find on this latest album. So, boop. right, there we go. That is the highlighted song off of the album that we were listening to today. We're listening to the entirety of that album called When Ancestors Speak. And to remind you, boop, this is the album that just came out last week. Go to lonomusic.com and you can download it yourself. Or if you already have it, you can download a gift card to send to a friend so they can download whatever Lono album they so choose. All right, so I'm glad you guys enjoyed that little Lono interlude, and as always, of course, in the background is Lono music. Lono music is pretty much the only artist that you're going to hear on my channel, as he's the only artist who has given me permission to use his music, so I won't get copyright struck. That being said, you might hear a Kenny Roberts tune on this channel as well, because Lono did do the production for that, and I have permission for that as well. But for the most part, 99% of the time, if you guys are listening to my stream, it's most likely Lono in the background. And let's see. All right, so we've covered this, we've covered that, we've covered the other thing. Now, what are we going to cover? Well, we're going to go to the water again, just a little bit. We are going to, let's see, what are we going to do? I think we are going to talk about this again. All right, you guys. So, on this stream, we talk an awful lot about the Hokulea, who is right now the Hawaiian sailing vessel that is going on a 4-year journey around the Pacific. And we also have been talking about recently the paddle to Muckleshoot. The paddle to Muckleshoot is, an intertribal paddling journey for the indigenous people of the Salish Sea. And this is the map for this year's paddle to Muckleshoot. We have got tribes on the west coast of the Olympic Peninsula, coming from as far away as Quinault. And then we also have tribes that are coming from Vancouver, BC. The First Nations tribes there will be joining us. And on July 30th, they will be hitting Seattle. I'm hoping to be at the beach to catch some of the arrivals when they come. But right now, I have got some pictures of the Quinault tribe and their journey. So here is the Quinault. Here is a couple pictures of the Quinault tribe starting off on their journey 3 days ago. And indeed, Picolati, I've got maps galore. I have got maps galore. And PB Bang, you know what they say about Seattle? No. Well, the most beautiful skies I've ever seen are in Seattle. I know that's what they say about Seattle, but what else? What else do they say about Seattle, PB Bang? What else do they say? And, so yeah. So, these are, the pictures from the first leg of the trip. Now, the first leg of the trip, here's where we're getting some maps. Boop. First leg of the trip started out at Tahola and then went up to La Push. So that was 1 day's worth of paddle travel. Frankly, that's a really long day of paddle travel, but whatever. All right, now we have got oh shoot, where did it go? Here we go. We don't have any pictures from day 2. Boop. That's just one of the pictures from day 2, and that's all I got from day 2 from the pictures. But boop, day 2's paddle journey started at La Push and went around to Nia Bay, and that was the second day's journey, right? Okay, now here is picture of day 3, and you'll notice that these paddlers don't just have paddles like the Hawaiian sailing ship Hokulea. They also have been known to use some sails, and so they're sailing along, and so day 3, boop. Day 3, by the way, is today, so this is as up to date as you can get. Day 3 is little orange-red stripe, and they're going to be landing in Port Angeles area, and so that is where the Quinault tribe traveled over 3 days from the bottom there to Hola, all the way up and around to Port Angeles. That's a 3-day paddle. Now, frankly, I'm impressed by that. But the most exciting thing about this paddle, you guys, is this particular landing today literally could not have happened a decade ago. Because there was no beach. There was no beach to land on. And what do I mean by that? Boop. This is what I mean by that. Back in the day, about 100 years ago, damming happened on the Elwha River. And the damming of that river caused huge amounts of problems with the beach at the mouth of the river. None of the sediment was making it down the riverbed, the riverway, and so eventually all of the sand at that beach was eroded away, and the beach was getting eroded away. So not only was the dams that were removed keeping salmon from getting to their natural streams and rivers and causing a problem with salmon reproduction, they also were causing problems with salmon habitats and estuaries and the mudplain and the beach erosion at the mouth of the river. So finally, in 2012, the dams, after many, many years of scientific study and negotiations and things, the tribes were able to get the dams removed off of the Elwha. And if you remember, about a year ago, we had an entire chatter with Statter talking about salmon and the life cycle of salmon. And we were using the Elwha River as an example of salmon restoration efforts that were successful because of the dam removal. So I pulled this picture from our stream about a year ago, and I'll tell you what, it's impressive. It's just as impressive now as it was then. So the picture on the left was the beach before the dams were removed. The picture on the right is the picture of the beach only 2 years after the dams were removed. Now, the dams were removed in 2012, a whole decade ago. So that beach has had a decade to rebuild itself. And this beach used to exist and now exists again. And these paddlers coming and landing today, literally today, let's see if I can find it again. The paddlers that are coming to land on that beach today are the very first paddlers to be welcomed to the Lower Elwha Tribe Beach in over 100 years. For 2 reasons. First off, cultural practices and the canoeing stopped a long time ago. But even if they had wanted to and were able to canoe and have the canoeing traditions go forth, there was no beach for other tribes to land on. But now that beach is back. So the Lower Elwha tribe, literally today, quite possibly as we speak, are welcoming tribes from the coastal region of Washington State for the first time. And it's the first time they've been able to. And so they are very excited for this particular Muckleshoot paddle for a lot of reasons, but the biggest reason is the Elwha Beach is going to be landed on for the first time in close to 100 years, if not 100 years. Prior to this, all the paddlers would beach up at Port Angeles, which is just a little way down the road. But this year, this year, for the first time, they're actually going to be landing on tribal land, on a tribal beach that for quite some time had been eroded away and now has come back. And so, let's see here. And Rick, but wouldn't the sandbar interfere with the salmon moving upstream? No. Actually, the sandbars create little backwaters and estuaries, and so as long as there's just like a couple inches of water, the salmon can get through. And the little backwaters and estuaries create safe havens for the smaller salmon who aren't yet ready to go out to the big ocean. It gives them time to hang out and grow into the fish they're supposed to be before they hit the salt water. And so Andre, is there oil in Oil City, Washington? I have no idea. My best guess is no. I think that's where a refinery used to be, but I have no idea. So definitely don't quote me on that. Okay. So now, I earlier this season was really hoping that the Hokulea, this is the Hawaiian sailing ship that's going along the West Coast right now, would cross paths with this paddle to Muckleshoot. But alas, that's not going to happen. The Hokulea is scheduled to hit Seattle, I think, at the end of August, whereas these paddlers are going to be hitting Seattle at literally the end of July 30th. But just so you know, because like this was literally one of the last minute things that I had to do. Boop. Yes, that's right. It's another map. Just so you know, as of today, this is last minute, as of today, at the top of this map, do you see a little rainbow? Do you see a little rainbow? That is where the Hokulea is currently located up in Vancouver, or not Vancouver, BC, excuse me, in the province of BC. So they are currently visiting with First Nations people in British Columbia. Now, at the bottom of this map, you've got a little sunshine, and that is where the Quinault people are staying as of tonight. So, as you can see, very far away from each other. They're not going to cross paths, which is too bad. But I did want to let you guys know just how close they are. Not very close at all. And, yeah, I just, for some reason, felt like I had to add that map because I'm map statter. That's why, because I'm map statter. Let's see here. And so, Andre, you love how in downtown Seattle they got the names in English and Silesian language on street signs. Yeah, for sure. And fun fact, not really, but fun fact. So, being of Native American descent in the United States is a complicated matter. And it's very bureaucratic, and there's a lot of paperwork involved. And so, not all the tribes that exist or existed in the United States are recognized tribes by the United States. I don't know if that makes sense, what I'm saying, but basically, we have a tribe here in Seattle called the Duwamish, and they are a recognized tribe within the Salish Sea history of tribes. Other tribes recognize the legitimacy of the tribe, but the United States government does not acknowledge their existence as a unified tribal body. They don't exist. They're not in the bureaucracy. Well, wouldn't you know it? There's this town in the Puget Sound, the Salish Sea. You might have heard of it. It's a town called Seattle. Yeah, Seattle. Mm-hmm. So Seattle was actually named after this guy, Chief Sealth. You know what tribe Chief Sealth belonged to? The Duwamish. a tribe that is not recognized by the federal government. So, yeah. Kaden. So, it's awesome that, the Salish language is used in Seattle. It's just too bad that, like, the rest of the government maybe doesn't acknowledge some things that they need to be acknowledging. I know, total weirdness, Gina. It's ridiculous. It's flippin' ridiculous. And so, let's see here. Andre coming in. Oil City is an unincorporated community located in northwestern Jefferson County, Washington, on the western coast of the United States and at the mouth of the Hoh River. It was a site of large-scale petroleum extraction during the late 19th and early 20th century. The oil companies concluded that oil reserves in the area were not of marketable quantities. Oh, wow. Who knew? Well, Wikipedia knew, I guess. And now Andre knows. And now we all know. All right, Oil City. I had no idea. And, so, let's see here. What else? Let's see here. Darlene. Yeah, the rainbow. They are getting closer to Vancouver. I don't think they're going to go to Vancouver proper. They're going to, well, partially because, that's a big old city. But I do think that they're going to be, resting just north and then just south of the city. And so let's see here. Yeah, Andre, exactly. Easier to make a sign than to do the true right thing. True, and also the city of Seattle has no say in what the Bureau of Indian Affairs recognizes as a legitimate tribe. I mean, it's one bureaucracy versus another bureaucracy, so, there is that. Okay, so... okay, Lady Tie-Dye, what are you saying? There's a fabulous book called Project 562, which interviews and photographs folks from that many recognized tribes at the time, but as the author says, there are certainly more. Beautiful book. Yeah, that sounds like a great book. I would definitely like to check that out. Now, check this out, y'all. Apparently, and I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently, of the 562 recognized tribes at the time, the majority of them are actually out of Alaska. Alaska natives, I guess probably by the time Alaska got to be a state, they had seen what they needed to do to make sure they all got, just to make sure that they all got recognized. But yeah, the tribes in Alaska, dude, they have gotten their paperwork in order, and there are more recognized tribes in Alaska than any place else, apparently, I've been told. Granted, the person who told me this was a Native Alaskan tribal member, so they might be just tooting their own horn. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if that is true. And let's see here. Puzzy Cat, there's no oil in Oil City, just like there's dirty water in Clearwater, Florida. Pretty much, right? Yep, there you have it. And Andre, it's real bad in the South where the Indian Removal Act happened. They said they removed all Indians from those southern states, which did not really happen. That is very, very true. But that is part of why I talk about Native American and Indigenous peoples issues so much here on my stream, or on our stream, because as a white person, you cannot really get more white than me. I mean, I'm see-through, literally. I, exist in a white world, and my impression of other white folk is a lot of white people really, really, really act or believe or are in this mindset that it's one of two things. Either Native Americans are a mythical creature of the past that no longer exist, or they're a mythical creature of the past that we know so little about that we can pretend we are one. Because a lot of white folk still seem to be like, oh yeah, I'm 1/4 Cherokee princess, and it's like, well, there's so much wrong with that, right? Yeah. So I really like to point out that modern day indigenous people not only exist, their culture is thriving, they are regrowing into their culture that was stolen from them, and chances are there is a Native American / First Nations person / indigenous Aboriginal person in your life that you might not suspect, but there is such a thing as city Indians. They're not all on the reservation. Native American, First Nations, indigenous populations still exist to this day. Still exist to this day. Still exist to this day. And I just want everyone to recognize that and respect it. And so that is why this crazy white girl is sitting here spending so much time talking about Native Hawaiians and Native Americans and the Salish Sea and all of the important animals that cause a thriving of or decimation of a culture, i.e. the salmon, the orca. So, just to give, I guess, a little bit of a background of why do you talk about this so much? Because, you know, I do talk about it a lot. And that's why. That's where I'm coming from. And to reinforce everything, when Statter says she is transparent, these are not tattoos, dude. Well, no, okay, this is a tattoo. But this, no, wait, that's not a tattoo. Those are, wait, god dang it. That's veins. You can see all of my veins. All of my veins. I am transparent. And so, Lady Tie-Dye, that's one of the really powerful things about that book, and all the appropriation, exactly. Darlene, the American people here were not kind or caring of the indigenous tribes or even the original Hawaiian peoples. You really are ashamed of your ancestors. Well, you know what? You can't help what they did. All you can help do is undo what they did. Or not even undo what they did, but just help the tribes help themselves to undo what has been done to them. And so, you know, the more you learn about your neighbors, your locals, the history, the more better. For instance, we have a tree here in Seattle right now called Luma, and the tree has been named Luma. That's right, the tree has a name. It's a 200-year-old cedar tree, and shoot, I don't think I have a picture pulled up of it, but it has been slated to be cut down. However, the local Snoqualmie tribe said, hold up, that is a culturally modified tree. Our ancestors used that tree as a way-finding tree. They bent the limbs to point towards the water. And so currently, the city of Seattle and the tribe are in a fight over whether or not this tree gets to stand. There are currently people sitting up in the tree, have been camping there since last Thursday, and one by one, local arborists and tree cutting services have signed a pledge to say, no, we will not be taking any money or we will not enter into a contract with the city of Seattle or the developers to remove this tree. We, as an arborist, tree cutting down, blah, 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 we're all standing together and we're not going to take that job. Go find somebody else. Oh, by the way, my other neighbor, my other arborist guy, yeah, he's not going to do it either. That other arborist guy, yeah, he's not going to do it either. So you might have to find somebody out of state to come and do it, because all us local people, we are not going to cut the tree down. But there's always that one who's willing to cross the line. And so even though a lot of the arborists are saying, no, we're not going to cut it down, the people are still camping up in the tree, in the canopy, to make sure that overnight it just doesn't disappear. Because we have had trees overnight that just disappeared. Even though they weren't supposed to be cut down, even though it was illegal to cut down, people who wanted them cut down are willing to pay the fine and do it in secret And once the tree is gone, the tree is gone. There's no, yeah, it was illegal. Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. Yeah, it's going to cost you $250,000 because you did that. The developer doesn't care. Once the tree is gone, the tree is gone. So we have locals up in the tree. It is a culturally modified tree, and hoping that it will get designated, and so it doesn't have to get cut down. We are currently, literally currently in that battle here in Seattle, and so you know, for those of you who like trees, it's important to recognize the old trees. And as it turns out, the Native Americans, some of them they used for their cultural practices. And if we didn't know that, and if we weren't able to get the Snoqualmie tribe to come in and verify, we'd be one less huge tree in the Seattle area. 200-year-old cedar tree. 200-year-old cedar tree. And let's see here. It looks like Pussycat, oldest oak tree east of the Mississippi on the Tomoko River, only a few miles from your house. Nice, nice, nice. And let's see here. Terry saying the Mohawk Skyworkers helped build the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, and Rockefeller Center, among others. Exactly. Talk about city Indians, right? And exactly, Lady Tie-Dye. Yeah, they can pay the fines. It's no big deal. I agree. Licenses, it needs to be more of more punishment than just a fine, because they can pay the fine. Licenses need to be revoked when they do stuff like that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I cannot agree more. And so let's see here. Wow, Pussycat, 800-year-old oak tree. That is so crazy, man. Oh, dude. Okay, that is just super awesome. And let's see here. Lady Tie-Dye, I was just reading this afternoon how vital urban trees are to helping control climate crisis, and how typically poor areas have trees that are ripped out of. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and not only that, but like the bigger, older trees do so much more than, you know, you could cut down one $200-year-old tree, and you could plant 200 one-year-old trees, and the carbon impact of those 200 one-year-old trees isn't even going to match what that one 200-year-old tree could grab from the air, as it were. And so, all right. Big ol' soapbox of a day today, I guess it turned out to be. And we are at the bottom of the hour. So I want to thank you guys so much that for hanging out, listening to me babble about things that not everybody cares about. So it really makes me happy to have folks engaged in this conversation and hanging out for this conversation. And so let's see here though. Andre, you still got so many trees in the Seattle area. It's wonderful, but with all that building you got in Seattle, they're going to cut more of them down. That's true, Andre, but here's the deal, and this is kind of where I'm coming at with the 200-year-old tree, 200 one-year-olds. For every tree that's bigger than X amount, I don't remember what the size is, the developer has to actually plant 4 more trees. So City of Seattle has a very, they want to keep our canopy in line. Now, the 4 trees that get planted aren't necessarily going to be worth the 1 tree that gets cut down, but Seattle is very cognizant of its place as the Emerald City in the Evergreen State, and they want to keep their tree canopy. So hoping that despite all the developments, there will still continue to be some canopy, as it were. And Andre, they also, the City of Seattle has these things called heritage trees. And here's the deal. The tree that is being threatened to be cut down right now, I don't know why it's not considered a heritage tree, but heritage trees are basically illegal to cut down. Once they get so big, you're not allowed to cut them down. But just because you're a heritage tree doesn't mean you don't get cut down. In fact, many heritage trees have been cut down because overnight someone decided they wanted to do it. And as I said, once it's gone, it's gone. Can't put it back up. So yeah, there you go. All right, you guys, I'm blabbling. We could babble for more. Let's not talk about food because then it will go on forever. I want to thank you guys for hanging out. I want to thank everybody for subbing, gift subbing, resubbing, all of the things. I want to thank everybody for chatting most of the way. And I would like to remind all of you, Lono's new album came out, so feel free to download it for yourself, for your friends, for your family. We will see each other on Wednesday, 4 p.m. West Coast time. Wednesday, 4 p.m. West Coast time. And hopefully we'll see each other before that, Monday, Daily Pigeon Live. But if not, let's hang out again, chatter with Statter, 4 p.m. Wednesday, West Coast. All right, we'll see you later. Have a good one.